Good evening. If I can get your attention, I'm going to ask you to take your cell phone and make sure it's on silent. There's a $25 fee if your phone goes off. And that includes the commissioners, and usually we're the first ones to have to pay up. We are coming back out of recess. We've already been through 2 of the workshops, and this is our 3rd workshop. And tonight we're going to be working on the expansion items, and I'd like to make sure that everyone here understands we have the material in our books, and in addition to that, we also have this. So we have financial information, we've got numbers, so you don't have to come up to the podium and start digging into that. It's basically to come up and introduce yourself, and if we have questions, we'll ask you questions.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I'd like to be excused from this meeting.
Okay. It's a workshop, so do we have to, Katie, do we have to, okay.
You're not going to take any votes tonight?
No, sir.
If you're not taking any votes tonight,
No, we're not taking any votes.
well, I'd still like to be excused from the meeting. I'd like for the board to excuse me from the meeting.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
Second.
And all those in favor, raise your right hand.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That'll make me feel so well.
Okay, the first section is going to be departments within the county, and Brian is going to lead that discussion, and then when we get to the outside agencies, I'll lead that discussion. So Brian, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. It's just a reminder for everyone, the way the budget is set up, we have our continuation budget, and that essentially funds the services and programs that the board had in the prior year in the new budget. So the changes that you see, or the proposed changes that you see coming in front of you tonight, are either from internal departments looking for something new or different, or outside agencies that are looking for additional funding, or agencies that have not been funded before who are asking for funding. So if there's an agency who is asking for the same amount that they received last year, you will not see them, or we won't have them in our book to be called up. So, but we'll start with internal departments. Emergency Services has an Animal Services Care Coordinator position, starting on page 298, and Chris is here to do that. Just a reminder, page 300, the EMS one is being pulled.
Good evening.
Hey, good evening, Commissioners. How are you? So since 2007, our Animal Service and Office has utilized 4 full-time employees. And as you can imagine, since 2007, demand for our service has drastically changed. And over the years, we've been able to compensate for some of those demand adjustments using a combination of part-time and volunteer staff. However, that is no longer meeting our operational needs. We really need to take a serious look at expanding the full-time positions within Animal Services so that we can adequately keep up with the demand for those services. Some of the challenges that we're currently facing, one, we are just limited in the amount of time that we can have a full-time officer on the road patrolling for stray pickups, because it's taking all of us to take care of the daily cleaning and maintenance, and taking care of the animals that are in our shelter. Having this additional person would allow us to keep a person on the road doing those patrols and stray pickups from 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, versus now, at best, it's in an afternoon. Some other things that this creates because of the limited full-time position is just when people are out sick, or injured, or on vacation, having an adequate amount of staff to backfill those positions in a full-time capacity really hurts us operationally. Probably the biggest piece that we struggle with is just the fatigue from euthanasia, where we have right now, three? We have 3 animal officers who are certified to euthanize animals. And as you can imagine, that has a mental toll of having to do that to animals that they have cared for for the previous days and weeks. And it does have a mental strain on our employees. Having an additional person to help with that doesn't eliminate it, but it certainly helps to just be able to spread that out. The other piece that we really struggle with is just our ability to maintain a good rotation of on-call staff. So we keep, just like in EM, we have animal service officers who are on call 24/7. And right now, with our current staff, that's a 1 week on, 3 weeks off. If we're able to add a full-time position, it would just give an extended break from that on-call period. So have Melanie here to answer any questions. We'll be happy to take those from the board. But again, this is definitely an expansion that we do need to look at. One we've talked about before, but something that we're going to continue to keep on the radar because it's an operational challenge for us.
Any questions from the commissioners?
Okay.
You want to, well, Brian,
Yes, sir, he was pulling the community paramedic.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We pulled that one for this.
oh, that's right, I'm sorry.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
sorry.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you very much.
So this will take you to page 301. Lloyd's got a couple of items for tax office, 301 and 302.
Good evening. Hope you all are doing well. I've got two. I believe the first one was, if I recall, the first one was actually the positional changes. I have an assistant tax collector that we would like to take up one grade, and then we have another position that's retiring actually August 1st. And as of August 1st, what we want to do is we actually want to change that position down 3 grades actually to get another customer service position. The way that we've been currently using that position really doesn't need to be used in that way anymore. We see that in the long run, we can actually save a little positional grade. The reason it is an expansion, I don't think it's going to net cost anything, but we still put it in the expansion budget because it is still a change of positions. It should be a wash, is our belief, or my hope at least, and depending on hiring salary, of course, but for the other position. But again, we want to take some of the duties from what was a 63 position, move them to the assistant collector, which would move her up 1 grade, and then the other position would move from a 63 to a 60. So that one, pretty clean, really, in my opinion. Something that needed to happen over there, and if somebody's been there over 20 years for retirement, now's a good time to do it. Now's a good time to do it, when you get somebody retiring. The other position that I have, the other item I have is a little more complicated, and I know all y'all are gonna know what I'm talking about. My real property manager, who sits beside me at RBRs, is retiring after many, many years. He is so deep onto our PUV program. He works so in tune with so many things in our program. I would love to get a month of overlap to let him train his replacement. And that's what the other item is. It's actually to be able to, for him to just to be able to, 1 month of overlap to be able to train him. I will tell you, I didn't put where it'll save us money. It will, because his experience, I want to pass it on. He's done great things with not only PUV, but with the appeals and other board stuff. So I would love to be able to utilize that. And that's both of mine, I believe.
Anyone have a question? Okay, Brian?
Page 303 is Public Works with a maintenance technician expansion.
Good evening, Commissioners. Thank you
Good
for the
evening,
opportunity
Wes.
to come up here and discuss our request for an expansion item. As we have been for the past several years, we are requesting a new maintenance technician position for our facilities division coming up in the new fiscal year. As you're aware, this division is responsible for planning, management, and a lot of performance of maintenance and improvements in the county buildings throughout the county. I believe it's 19 or 20. We currently have 1 maintenance supervisor and 2 technicians, and an additional technician would greatly improve the ability of our division to proactively maintain the appearance and functionality of county buildings instead of being constantly reactive to issues that might have been avoided, which would help us reduce inconvenience to occupants and costs. Obviously, if we have to wait till something breaks down, a lot of times that results in emergency repair costs, rush shipping for parts and things that we need. So we believe an additional technician would help us avoid some of those excessive costs. You can see the chart there, just kind of details some of the duties of the different employees in the division. But several of the challenges that we faced, I feel like I'm echoing Chris on a lot of the things he said. But as I already said, we do operate in a reactionary manner much of the time as we're currently staffed. A large percentage, and I'm sorry, I have Maintenance Supervisor Aaron Lewis here tonight if anybody has any questions for him. But a large percentage of his time is spent helping actually do the physical maintenance work, where he really needs to be focusing a lot on the administrative tasks of the division, whether it's planning projects, coordinating contractors, doing the paperwork behind everything, whether it's filing for permits or paying contractors or paying invoices, things like that. So that's a challenge that he's got a lot of his time tied up in physical maintenance. And also the sickness and other family commitments and things that come along for everybody in all positions. It reduces availability of staff to work on things that day. So if we have a crew of 3 and somebody's out sick, 2, it's a drastic change in what we do from 3 to 2. That would be one of our challenges. So the new technician would provide time to preemptively identify and resolve issues before building occupants are effective and costs increase. It would allow Aaron time to perform the administrative functions he needs to do when he needs to do them. We also anticipate that we would be able to keep from hiring as many outside contractors. We would be able to perform more work internally, which would reduce our costs. It would also allow Aaron to be more involved in the planning and execution of the capital projects that we've talked a lot about have been delayed. Having some additional eyes and hands on those would be very helpful. Chris talked about for their on-call rotation, we have the same thing. We have three people on call all the time. So it's a 1 week on, 2 week off in our division. So adding that would allow 1 extra week off. So they'd be on call once a month. So all of that would help improve employee work-life balance and would help to improve employee morale. Excuse me, getting tongue twisted over here. That additional person would help with any nights or weekends that would have to be called in to work, as we do have 24/7 facilities that we have to take care of. And then it also creates flexibility for sickness or vacation, professional development, extended leave, or occasional turnover. Like I said, going from 3 down to 2 is a great challenge for our staff. Going from 4 down to 3 would not be nearly as hard to handle in what we do day in and day out. So again, this is at least the 3rd or 4th year in a row I know we've come up here asking for this. The need is still there. It's grown. Building systems are getting more complicated all the time. We're trying to do more projects every year, and I believe expectations are higher from occupants and our citizens. So we're asking for that technician to help us meet those needs.
Questions from anyone? Thank you, Wes.
Thank you.
Page 306 is Health Department. We have a primary and preventative care program expansion request.
Good evening. How is everybody?
Good evening.
If you recall from our budget retreat, one of the things I had mentioned is that we were going for a rural community health grant, and the good news is we got it. And so I am requesting to accept this money to not only get a new position, it would be a new provider, but it would also help cover some offset of current salaries, like our DON, which is our Director of Nursing. But really, even with our current primary care, we have about a 10-wait week, which is better than a lot of other places, but we still have a big need to meet. We are also seeing a lot of phone calls and unfortunately having to turn them away because they're not interested in primary care. They don't fit in our family health and maternal, but they're looking for that intermediate care. So this new provider would help meet that need, not only through primary care, but intermediate care. You can see the breakdown on the back of the sheet in regards of, we lowballed, and I mean lowballed, in regards to estimated income for that first year, just because of onboarding, training, things of that nature. But this position would be fully covered, including the benefits as a county position for 3 years. My goal after those 3 years would be to reapply, find other funds, but it's also my intention and very high hopes and expectation that the income they bring after those 3 years in establishing patients would be able to support the position itself.
Any commissioner?
Going once, going twice? No, I'm just kidding.
Thank you,
guys.
Thank you, Janelle.
So you're on page 310, which is DSS, an additional on-call social worker, and then an additional one on 312 as well.
Good evening, Commissioners. So we do come tonight with two requests, two expansion requests. The first is the addition of an on-call social worker. As you know, our social workers often work very long hours in highly stressful environments. They make critical decisions on a day-to-day basis for the safety and the well-being of children and the families that we serve. We've had several that have left recently, and they have cited that on-call is one of the reasons that they have left, or one of the main reasons why they're leaving. Because we're expecting them to work all day, that 8 to 5 shift, and then turn around and pull that on call from 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. the next morning. And that's very stressful for them. Like I said, that is the reason why we've lost several in the last few months. So that is the request for that one. Any questions about that position?
We share in that cost with the state.
It would be about a 50% reimbursement, just as
Okay.
all DSS positions.
All right. Any other? Okay.
And then our second expansion request is the need for a security guard at our office. There is a growing need for enhanced safety within our department. We are requesting an armed security guard. We have, highly volatile cases. Sometimes meetings that get out of hand. Sometimes we often have to call law enforcement to assist us at our office, and we just feel that the presence of a security guard would kind of make our staff feel more safe, and our clients as well.
And that would be with Allied Services?
Yes, sir.
Anyone? Thank you.
Thank you.
I think you're in outside agencies now, and if you, you've got your book where you start at page 314, but also if you go to page 181, you'll see the outside agencies, so you'll be able to follow that to see whether these are new requests or additional requests. I mean, we can certainly tell you as you go through it. So you have on page 181, outside agencies, and then there are youth services on 169. I think we have one I know we have two that are requesting additional there. But your first one, 314 is where you start, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we're going to go by what's in the book here, starting on page 314. And what I'll do is I'll read the title of the service expansion. And if we have someone here, I would ask you to come up to the podium. The first one is a New Direction Local Reentry Council. And this would be a new program.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Watsy Sutton. I am Executive Director of Koinonia Community Solutions. We are the operating agency for a New Direction Local Reentry Council. And I have prepared just a short presentation. Essentially, a New Direction Reentry Council is a reentry program, but more than a public safety strategy. It is a workforce development and community stabilization investment. The reality facing Beaufort County is that under North Carolina law, individuals returning from incarceration generally are going to return to the county of their conviction unless they have some approved exception to live other way, somewhere else. In 2025 alone, 121 individuals returned to Beaufort County. The question isn't whether or not reentry impacts Beaufort County. It's what happens when they return, whether citizens are going to return disconnected from opportunity and with a nearly 1 in 2 chance of either ending up back in the county jail, headed back to prison, or requiring some other costly county service. Or with the support of reentry services, whether they're going to be connected to pathways that promote stability, accountability, and workforce participation, which not only benefits the individual, but benefits the economic stability of the county as a whole. Let's see if I can, I'm having a difficult time here. Let me just see if I can make it advance. Well, we'll just keep going. Nonetheless, the mechanism is essentially, we serve as a coordinated reentry infrastructure. We are not a standalone agency. We basically promote cross-sector collaboration among faith-based organizations, nonprofits, government agencies. We work closely with the courts, with the recovery court, with probation and parole, which we receive primarily most of our referrals from those two organizations, as well as other community stakeholders. We identify service gaps, coordinate resources, and essentially strengthen local reentry outcomes such that we are aligning services, reducing the possibility of duplication, and improving outcomes for Beaufort County residents. Essentially, this support includes housing, employment, transportation, food and basic needs, workforce training, which is a key component of our organization, education credentials, and linkages to mental health and treatment services. Initially, this work was funded by North Carolina Department of Adult Corrections with a $225,000 grant in partnership with Agape Health Services. We expended $64,000 on Beaufort County participants alone, serving 64 participants in Beaufort County. Essentially, when individuals stabilize, community stabilize is essentially it. Essentially the point. Of those 64 Beaufort County residents that were served, only 10.9, we had an only 10.9% recidivism rate among them, as compared to the statewide recidivism rate of 56% for rearrest for a new crime and 48% of a return to prison. So the numbers speak for themselves and indicate essentially that this investment produces not only measurable workforce increases, but public safety outcomes. Now, with respect to that $64,000, how was that spent? Housing stabilization, whether that was on, we know that when individuals are coming out of prison, particularly within the first couple of weeks of their return, that if housing and mental health treatments aren't stabilized, then there's a very high risk of not only death, suicide, drug relapse, but also obviously returning back to prison. We were able to address that housing stabilization, provide transportation assistance, workforce and educational support, and basic needs assistance. Essentially, we're asking for $20,000 in funding from the county, which is about a third of the expenditure on Beaufort County residents alone in 2025. $2,000 for participant transportation assistance, $15,000 to support housing, childcare, employment, and education assistance, and $3,000 for reentry materials and essential supplies. Essentially, what I think is most necessary to understand relative to this work is that the numbers speak for themselves. If individuals are not supported with reentry services when they return from incarceration, or otherwise dealing with the collateral consequences relative to the criminal justice system, then they're going to be in your hospital. They're going to be taking up EMS services. They're going to be in the county jail. Those costs don't yield a return on investment. However, the investment, the research is pretty replete in that every dollar spent with reentry not only lowers those costs for the county, but it increases the tax base for the county, because you've got individuals who are participating in the workforce, they are earning, they are being contributing members of the community, and they're not costing you additional money with public safety. Just a couple of success stories from our participants in the last year. We've had 3 to complete CDL licensing, one to complete CDL licensing, 2 more in progress. 6 have completed BioWorks certificates, credentials through Beaufort Community College. An additional 15 enrolled between Beaufort Community College and Martin Community College, and several who have been able to obtain stabilized housing, and 1 who has purchased their own home using down payment assistance programming to make that more affordable and in reach. So essentially, every dollar that's invested in reentry is going to return in multiplied ways to the county. We have here Ms. Fentress, who is a Beaufort County resident who is a participant in our program, who is available to share her experience and outcomes if you all are interested in hearing her.
We pretty well are basing on about a 5-minute presentation, and I've already given you 6 minutes.
Okay, I appreciate that.
I should have told you that, so you could have let her go first. But everybody coming up here, if you will, try to hold it somewhere around 5 minutes.
Thank you.
That would be great.
Sure.
Any question before she sits down? Thank you.
Thank you in advance.
Okay, the next one is the Aurora Fossil Museum. Got a big weekend coming up, huh?
Oh, we've got a huge weekend. We're excited. I did bring a letter from Ms. Cynthia, so I'm going to pass that real quick. if you don't mind. Thank you for understanding. The Executive Director, Cynthia. It is in Aurora right now, setting up for this wonderful weekend.
Thank
that
you.
we've got planned. My name is Rhiannon, and I'm here on her behalf. When did I change? I'm been partial to Aurora.
Oh, okay.
I still support Agape's mission.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I'm for the whole community.
All right.
Yes, sir. And I do have some pictures. Brian actually made you one as well. Tonight, we're looking for a couple of different things. One is an increase to the appropriations, the yearly appropriations. As you know, we are a North Carolina state attraction. We are nationally known. The museum last year, the data has come in, served around 74,000 people. And we are looking at about 2 million online impressions through social media and our websites. The appropriation request is to bring us in line with other museums and state attractions, either locally and, of course, throughout North Carolina. And I'll keep that short and sweet. I think it's a great investment. Aurora is growing. There's some other groups, Part P. They've got different initiatives, and we do anticipate, especially with the July event they've got planned, this number greatly increasing, which means that we are going to need to have our staff there and other resources on hand. So the $20,000 appropriation fee. In addition to that, we need some roofs. So I gave out some pictures. This is the 50th year for the museum. I don't know if you guys knew that. It's been 15 years since we've had any roof replacements on the buildings. The main building is actually what was the deciding factor and the qualifier for the Main Street Historic District. And Aurora was able to obtain some substantial grants thanks to the museum's building and running. So let's see. The $60,000, so part of that was for the roofs, roughly $30,000. We would ask the commissioners to please consider adding a 10% buffer. We don't know if there's going to be additional wood that needs to be replaced or any of that. We would hope not, but we may need it. In addition to additional capital improvements to the grounds themselves, increasing the fossil pits, doing improvements to the parking lots, and increasing a safety perimeter, which is much needed in this area. We don't know that it's going to be $30,000. After we spoke with Mr. Waters, he encouraged us to get some quotes, and with the Fossil Fest, we just didn't have time, but we're happy to provide those. So that is a rough estimate. It is a long-term investment for the safety and security of our visitors, and we have a lot of them. Can I answer any questions?
Any questions?
We hope to see you at our Fossil Fest this weekend. It kicks off Saturday, 11 a.m.
Thank you.
And it'll be through Sunday. We've got live entertainment. We have the dinosaurs. And we've got lots of interactive. I think it was over 61 vendors come in, some history folks, definitely the fossil folks, and all of that. Cynthia did want me to say that the roofs are a priority and wanted to make sure that you guys know that the roofs are absolutely a priority.
It's the number one.
What are those roofs made of now?
To be honest with you, I am not 110%. I think I read that they needed a new mat.
I
Let's see.
think they're flat. Are they flat?
PVC membrane roof.
Okay.
So it is a flat roof.
All right.
All right.
Thank you. Good
Be
luck.
kind to us.
Good
Thank
luck
you. See you at the
during
festival.
the weekend. Okay, the next one is Bath Recreation.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name's Darrell Norris. I'm the President of the Bath Recreation Department. I've come to you a number of years, and I thank you for the opportunity to come speak to you and tell you about the wonderful things that we're doing in Bath with the Recreation Department. We sponsor youth programs for ages 4 through 15 or 16 years old, playing baseball, softball, volleyball, and t-ball. And we have a little over 200 participants throughout the year with all of those sports, both boys and girls. And in the past, we've made great improvements using the funds that you guys have helped us out with to our facilities, in making improvements to our fields, putting drainage improvements there, some irrigation. And we are continuing to work hard to improve our services to the community, both the youth, and then this year we're also expanding to the general community too. We've already held our first open outdoor movie night out on the ball field. We showed The Sandlot on a big screen, the whole backstop of the ball field, free and open to the public, just to try to bring some community in there. It was a great event. We're actually going to do it again on June 5th. We're going to show Angels in the Outfield. We're thinking of what are the great baseball movies that we can have a good family night out at the ball field. I encourage all of you to come. Part of what makes us tick, though, we're all volunteers. Everybody except the umpires. The umpires get paid. But everybody else is all volunteers, and we really put our heart and soul into making our program and our facilities the best we can. To do that, we need some additional help. We need new dirt on our fields. We need a new water tap so that we can run proper irrigation onto the baseball fields. Not to grow grass, but to knock the dust down and soften that field a little bit, because sometimes it's like sliding on concrete. So we're doing the best with what we have, and this year's expansion above what we've asked for previously is for an additional $5,000 to help fund those things. This new water tap and water line is $7,000 by the time we get the tap, the backflow preventer, and run the water line out to the field. So we're asking for a little help with that. We've done some fundraising, things like that movie night, to help do the other things. And I would just appreciate the continued support from you commissioners with not only Bass Recreation Program, but all the other recreation programs that come before you tonight. And with that, I'll turn it over and ask, do you have any questions for me?
Anyone? Have you had a request for pickleball?
We have heard of a request for pickleball. So far, Bellhaven has certainly been approached about pickleball. We haven't yet got there with Bath. I think the school, because all our facilities are on the school grounds, I think the school is working on a walking trail around the ball fields. And so as we progress, I'm sure that's coming our way as a request for something like that.
Okay. No questions. Thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you.
Our next one is the Bellhaven Community After School Center. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Chantel Russell. I'm the CEO of Belhaven Community After School Center, also known as BCAC. First, thank you for allowing me to speak on behalf of the children and families that we proudly serve throughout Beaufort County. And just to let you know, we have students that do come during the summer from other parts of the county as well. So we serve not just Belhaven, but other parts of Beaufort County. BCAC was founded with the simple but powerful vision to provide a safe, supportive, and enriching environment where children can learn, grow, and thrive. We believe every child deserves access to positive opportunities, caring mentorships, and programs that shape strong futures regardless of income or circumstance. At BCAC, we are more than an after-school program. We are a place where youth are encouraged to build confidence, strengthen character, and discover their potential. Our mission is to empower children and families through education, mentorship, character development, and community engagement. Throughout the year, BCAC provides services and address real needs in our community. We offer after-school program, summer enrichment programs, academic support, literacy, activities, STEM, learning, arts and recreation, pickleball lessons, Spanish enrichment lessons, and other hands-on educational opportunities. Our summer camp is intentionally designed to provide both learning and stability. Children will receive free breakfast, lunch, and afternoon snacks, participate in enriching activities, and engage in meaningful field trips and community experiences. But our work goes beyond academics. We recognize that many of our youth are navigating peer pressure, substance abuse, exposure, and difficult social challenges. This is why we have invested in research-based character and substance abuse curriculum prevention called Too Good for Drugs and Peaceable Place. This helps students learn decision-making skills, conflict resolution, leadership, and healthy life choices. We've witnessed young people begin to open up about the pressures they face, and more importantly, encouraging one another to make positive decisions. Those moments remind us that prevention and mentorship really matter. BCAC also promotes positive youth engagement through athletics, family activities, and community-centered events that bring people together and create a sense of belonging. What makes BCAC especially important is our commitment to accessibility. Families in Beaufort County, especially in Belhaven, struggle to find affordable childcare and enrichment opportunities. We work hard to remove those barriers with a low to no registration fee, ensuring that all children can participate regardless of their financial difficulties. And a lot of the parents that have the no fee, they volunteer their services. They come out and they help when we have events. They do other things to kind of offset having no fee. Tonight, we respectfully request the amount you see funded to help sustain our growing BCAC programming. These funds would support educational materials, enrichment opportunities, youth prevention initiatives, program staff and resources, and the need to continue to serve Beaufort County children safely and effectively. This request is not simply about funding a program. It's about investing in prevention instead of intervention. It's about investing in safe spaces instead of unsupervised time. And most importantly, it's about investing in the future of Beaufort County. At BCAC, we believe that when we invest in children, we strengthen families, communities, and generations to come. Thank you for your time. Do you have any questions?
Any questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The next one is in Belhaven also. That's the Belhaven Community Center of Commerce and Welcome Center. Thank you.
Ready?
Mark, you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I do. Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. My name is Mark Nagy. I'm the president of the Belhaven Community Chamber of Commerce and Welcome Center. And with me this evening are two of our board members, Carrie Ryan, who is our board treasurer, and another board member, Amy Braswell. And we sincerely appreciate the opportunity to speak with you tonight and especially for your consideration of our new funding request. The Belhaven Chamber is unique in that we serve two distinct roles. Our primary role is to support our local businesses as chambers of commerce do. But secondly, the town of Belhaven does not have a welcome center. So the chamber's second role is to operate our visitor center and welcome center, which is right on Water Street, right across from the marinas and the town dock, as you can see in some of the pictures that were handed out to you. We also do lots of other things in Belhaven. We're a one-person, part-time, paid employee with lots of volunteers. Our board members are working right now to reopen the Belhaven Memorial Museum, which, as the Aurora Fossil Museum is well-known. There's visitors coming from all over to go to the museum, and they get to town and find out it's closed. So we're very close to, in fact, we had the soft opening. We're very close to getting that open. We're working right now to plan for the 100th anniversary of the opening of the ICW in 1928. Belhaven is known as the birthplace of the Intracoastal Waterway. There were 30,000 people here in 1928 to celebrate that grand opening. We're shooting for about 15,000. But no, it's going to be a big deal. And also, I think everyone knows that Belhaven has the longest running 4th of July celebration in the state of North Carolina with 84. This will be our 84th consecutive year. And I guarantee you this year is going to be the biggest and best, attracting people from all over eastern North Carolina. The Welcome Center really plays a vital role in bringing tourist dollars and tax revenue to Beaufort County. As stated in our funding request, our landlord notified us a few months ago that our rent was going to triple. We can't afford to be in the location where we're at with triple the rent, hence our funding request. However, we've recently had the opportunity to locate another office space that opened up in that same building where the rent is less. This will still allow us to be right across from the docks to service our transient boaters. Many of them come in to find out where to eat, where to shop, and generally where to spend money. The Chamber also puts on the annual Belhaven Trout Tournament and Festival. And this will be our fourth consecutive year of running this tournament. In the first 3 years, we've contributed $100,000 in total to Beaufort Community College for scholarships to aid in workforce development, to keep students here working in Beaufort, living in Beaufort County, and working in Beaufort County. And in fact, recently, the Beaufort Community College dedicated their new boat building facility named the Belhaven Trout Fest Boat Building Laboratory. As I mentioned, we recently had the opportunity to move into a smaller location. And one of the reasons we wanted to be here tonight was to be transparent with you that we don't need quite the amount of money that we originally asked for in our funding request, with lesser rent, but adding in moving costs and painting and upfitting the building to be the Welcome Center. We need about $2,000 less than we asked for. So we wanted to be upfront with you and let you know that. We also hope that this is a one-time request for the county commissioners, and that our executive director, Carol Roop, has been working very hard with our state legislators to establish a countywide TDA. I know the city of Washington has its own TDA. We're working in conjunction now with the Washington Chamber of Commerce to make a Beaufort countywide TDA so that the occupancy tax dollars right now that are going to the state, and who knows where they're going from there, will be earmarked to come back to Beaufort County. We're hoping then that with this TDA money, we'll be able to fund the visitor center 100% through the TDA funds that will be coming back into Bellhaven. I think, you know, in summary, I think we believe that this is a very small investment to ask of the county for the value that we provide in bringing both tax dollars back into Beaufort County through the tourists and visitors, as well as helping to provide workforce development through our partnership with Beaufort Community College. That's it. I'll open the floor to any questions you may have.
Mark, what is the term on this lease?
We've got a one-year lease.
1-year lease.
Yes. So we'll be moving in June 1st, which will run through the 30th of May of 2027.
Okay. Any other questions?
You did say that your ask is $2,000 less than what we have in the book.
Yes. Yes, sir.
So 7,600.
The camera that we see on WITN, is that you?
Yes, it is. That's the other thing we've done. We put the WITN weather cam on top of the chamber office, so.
It's good to see you every morning.
You can see that. You can see that.
Mark travels so much, he's not the one holding the camera.
Yeah. Jim Howard talks about us all the time.
You can see the camera right there.
Right.
Yep.
Any other questions?
Thank you very much.
All right, we thank you for the consideration of our request.
All right, the next one is also from Bellhaven. It's the Town of Bellhaven Recreation. Okay, going once, going twice, going 3 times, it's gone. All right. The next one is the BHM Regional Library.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm well. How are you all doing? With me tonight, I have Penny Modlin, who is the branch manager of the Bath Library. BHM is here tonight to ask for 3 improvement requests. One is to bring the Beaufort County library employees just up to the state average for similar demographic libraries. The second is to create and fund a booking with BHM Bookmobile that will have scheduled stops at senior centers, daycare, schools, the Blunts Creek area, Chocowinity, including Cypress Landing and the Evergreen Estates, and the Edward communities. The third is to add additional money for outreach assistance for youth services and the Bookmobile. And I have, let me see this up here. Well, if you need the graphs, I have the graphs to sort of explain why we think these things are valuable and needed. Currently, we have 10 employees who have, since the 1900s, it's hard to say 1900s, since the 1900s have been the consistently lowest paid library workers in the state of North Carolina. The lowest in the state of North Carolina. However, we are the 4th largest library system in the state of North Carolina. So when I talk, and that includes Hyde and Martin County, but when I talk about Beaufort County, we see Washington, but we have Aurora, Bath, Bellhaven, and Washington. Often people say, well, Washington has 2 libraries. We don't need 2 libraries. We apparently need 2 libraries because between Aurora, Bath, Bellhaven, and Washington Headquarters Library, we provided 77,871 services, ages 6 months to 99 years old, ranging from notary services to computer sessions to electronic material checkout, children's programs. We had 9,000 just from these 4 small libraries, juvenile books circulated. Juvenile is grade 6 and below. And we had 31,441 people to visit our libraries in the 2024 fiscal year. So if I were to show the charts, or if you had the question, it shows that Beaufort is below the regional library average in per capita salary investment, overall salary and wage expenditures. I spend a lot of time interviewing candidates because we have such high turnover, and the exit interviews consistently show it is due to salary and wage payment. Other libraries in the Library of North Carolina system, part-time pay typically, almost always across the board, begins at $12 per hour. Last year, you very generously gave me a modest increase I requested that brought some of my employees up to $9 an hour. That original ask at the start of my presentation would help bring them up to $12 an hour. It also shows that we are more than 50% below the regional average, and again, are the lowest funded staffing structure in the state regional library system. So how does funding work? Beaufort County funding stays in Beaufort County minus a tiny little portion that goes to a regional budget that pays for IT. And as you can imagine, 8 libraries takes a lot of IT. A lot of IT comes to 4 libraries in Beaufort County. The more a county contributes to the library system, the more the state contributes to our library system. The less you contribute, the less the state contributes. And the state investment goes throughout the entire system. So this small additional investment in BHM improves the quality of life for Aurora, Bath, Belhaven, Blunt's Creek, Chocowinity, Edward, and Washington citizens. It will bring the Beaufort Library workers from the lowest pay in the state to just under the state average, and will add additional support for technology, programming, and outreach needs of our citizens. I would love to answer any questions.
I had a chance to look at the financial statement,
Yes, sir.
and this is, I don't want you to take this wrong,
Okay.
but of all the things that we look at, you have the strongest balance sheet of anybody that's asking for money, and you have cash of over $700,000. Is there some reason that's restricted and you're not using it?
Yes, sir. I work with 10 budgets. Every budget comes with its own set of rules. The state budget can only be used for certain finances. The Martin County budget, you're looking at the overall budget. The Martin County budget, the Williamston budget, the Robertsonville budget can only be used for items they've guaranteed that money for. The budget I received from Beaufort County is $232,000-ish of that total balance you see. Of that amount, 131 is salaries for 10 employees. But you have to remember, for those employees, we have to pay FICA, we have to pay retirement, which goes up every year. So with our tiny request every year, 3,000, 4,000, we've kept ourselves below, but the costs continue to increase, especially insurance and other benefits. So it looks like we have a lot, but it depends. Every budget is specified to certain things.
Well, when you look at the income, less the expenses, you went in the hole just a little bit. And on the balance sheet, it's showing $700,000, over $700,000.
That would be the 3-county system.
Well, anyway, I won't dwell on that, but I would urge the commissioners to go and look at the financials on it. So, anybody else have a question? Thank you very much. The next one is the Citizens of Southside Together.
That's a good evening to everybody. My name is Charles Cannon. I'm the Executive Director of Citizens on Southside Together. I'd like to say we just completed a new fitness center. The people that used to have to come to Washington and do take therapy. Now we got a personal trainer that can help them with their therapy. Also, on last Friday, we completed a walking trail all around our park. And we also serve over 500 people per month in our food pantry. We have a food pantry. And we are desperate in need of expanding our food pantry. So we're asking $7,000 to help increase our size of our food pantry, because we serve a whole lot of people. We don't want to see no child that go to bed hungry at night.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Now, the ask that I'm looking at says $4,000.
That's above what?
That's $4,000 over what you got last year.
Yes.
I thought you were at $4,000.
I was thinking we had put 7,000, according to my,
That's correct. They're currently funded at 3. They're asking for an additional 4 for a total of
right.
7.
Yes, total of 7, yes.
Has the Goodwill Industry store open yet?
No, they haven't. They were thinking about this month, next week.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
How far is it from your place to that?
8 miles.
8 miles.
8 miles from where we locate on Highway 30, 17501. We live in Blunt's Creek.
Right. Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right. Any other questions up here? Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay, the next one is Eagles Wings. All right, going once, going twice, going 3 times. All right. Next one is the Food Bank of the Albemarle.
Carry my luggage around, I apologize. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Chairman, council members. I'm Liz Reesner, I'm the Executive Director of the Food Bank. I've been before you many times before, and you have our request in front of you. We're asking for $5,000 to help support the distribution of food to the 23 partner agencies that we support here in the county. So across the county, you have a food insecurity rate, poverty rate of almost 17%. And of those folks, they have to depend on food pantry programs to receive and to make ends meet every month. The majority of that food comes as a result of the distribution that we provide here in this community. And as you can see from the reports, we provide over 1.3 million pounds of food through our distribution hub to this community. And $5,000 will go towards helping us defray some of the costs associated with transportation to get it down here. Because I think that it's no surprise for any of us that the price of fuel is going up and continues to rise. And that's gonna make a huge impact in helping us continue that regular service down here.
How many different food banks in Beaufort County do you touch?
We touch 23 programs, food pantry programs.
In
scattered
Beaufort County?
In Beaufort County. You have
23.
23. They're in the letter. Some of them are open one day a month. Some of them are open regular days and hours of operations, like Eagles Wings. Eagles Wings is our strongest partner agency, and we help distribute over almost 500,000 pounds of food to that program annually. Our trucks are down here on a weekly basis, bringing fresh produce, lean proteins, shelf-stable canned goods commodity program from the USDA to distribute to these programs. I know 23 sounds excessive, but you and I both know how rural Beaufort County is. And when you don't have a transportation system that allows for people to access, an urban area or a metropolitan area, they have to rely on gaining access to the nearest resource they have. And the food pantries in these communities play a pivotal role in addressing that food insecurity level.
Is the South Side Together one of the 23?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we've invested significant ARPA funds to help them bring that program up and on board. And as you know, those ARPA funds are gone. Those have been exhausted The Food Bank of the Albemarle was fortunate enough to invest over $1 million of ARPA funds back into our partner agencies, investing in trucks, investing in infrastructure with facilities and building expansions, and it really helped build out capacity and permanent infrastructure that'll go a long way.
Any other question?
And I know I just want to say, I know you've looked at our balance sheet, and I want to bring it to your attention that when you look at our balance sheet is always close to $16 to $17 million. And just like any other business with an inventory, the majority of that inventory is on the balance sheet, just like if we had furniture or we were a grocery store. So when you look at the financial resources, look at the cash on hand is what we're asking you to look at. And every time you invest in us, we're able to double or even triple your investment in the work that we do, because we go out and we ask for grant and support and use your dollars as a baseline to be able to demonstrate to the funders that community support is part of the function of what we do. So your impact is multiplied 3 times when we can fundraise and show the community commitment. And Beaufort County is still one of the communities that does not support the Food Bank of the Albemarle. I'm going to be here before you every year and just making our case. So I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you each year. Still want to offer an invitation for you to come to Elizabeth City and see the operation that is the distribution center that supports 15 counties here in Northeast North Carolina. Thank you.
Thank you, Liz.
Have a great one, gentlemen. Thank you.
Okay, the next one is Highway 1764 Association. Yeah, that looks like it weighs.
It's got a lot of effort in it.
Highway 1764 Association. Nobody? Okay. The next one is the Humane Society of Beaufort County. Good evening.
Good evening. The Dr. Chuck Manning Memorial Fund is a totally separate venture of the Humane Society of Beaufort County. Not one single cent is spent on anything other than spaying and neutering. By the end of last year, we had spayed or neutered 5,518 cats over a period of 5 years. And the veterinary hospitals have given us reduced rates to doing the surgeries, and for 5 years maintained the same rate. But last year, they had to finally increase it. So far this year, in 4 months, we've already fixed 438 cats. Although we charge $25 for cats from colonies and $40 for all others, we spend $199,993 last year and $61,110.76 so far this year. Our efforts have definitely made a difference in the county, as 715 cats had to be euthanized in 2024 versus 568 last year, which is a reduction of 147 or 35%. And that is all. Any questions?
Anybody?
Thank
Thank you very much. The next one is Open Door Community Center. Good evening.
Open Door has been here before, but this is my first time. Thank you for the opportunity to present the progress and successes of Open Door Women's Shelter, a program of Open Door Community Center. I'm Terry Johnson. I'm the board president of a 12-member board, and I'm proud to share that since January of 2019, when the shelter opened, we have served 172 women and 57 children. In the early years, we did not count the children, so that 57 is only since July of 2021. We're not tracking also who we turned away until July of '23, and since then, we have turned away 297 women and 372 children. Then tells a story that there is a need for this women's homeless shelter. We began in late '23 looking to build that expansion, and if you do not know that we opened the expansion in January, then you must not be on any social media. It's a 24-bed shelter now. It was 9. So we tripled our capacity. However, you cannot triple your capacity and increase your programs unless your budget increases. But we've only increased 50% for a triple capacity increase. We offer enrichment programs to our women, things such as parenting skills, financial aid services, financial budgeting, peer support. We also offer them case management services, interview skills, resume building, things to help make their life become more stable and to come back into the community as a stable person with their children. Our recent expansions did transform our operations. So we went from being open a few days a week to we are now open 24/7. That came with expansion in that budget. We've had to hire more people. We've had to increase to 2 full-time employees and 6 part-time employees so that the women no longer have to leave the shelter at 8 a.m. in the morning and come back at 6 p.m. They have full kitchen services, laundry facilities, bathing facilities, and our case management services, again, that we're helping them to make a difference. Open Door relies on our community partners, our grants, and our donors. Since last July of 2025, the partners and volunteers, the people who come in and help us in in-kind services, have saved us over $120,000. And we manage those partnerships very well because we want to continue those partnerships in the future. As we move forward, our next challenge, and it's been referenced here this evening, is transportation cost. So imagine you're a young mom with 3 children and you need to get to the grocery store. You need to go to DSS to turn in the paperwork that you need to get your food stamps, to get your other services that are available to you there. So we're looking to add a van and the ability to be able to help get these women through town to achieve the services and the resources that they need. We appreciate your consideration of our grant application and hope your help to sustain the programs that we're offering at Open Door. If you have any questions, I'm happy to try and answer them.
Anyone have a question?
No, but statement, your building looks really good. It's the one on Calpin Road, right?
Cal Farm Road, yes, sir.
Cal Farm.
Yes, sir.
Calpin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's out in the
And
eastern
we've
part
been
of-
full
western
since
part of
we
county.
opened. We've been full since we opened.
I bet.
Um,
You provide a
it's-
very valuable service.
It is. And there's nothing like the 2-year-old's feet hitting the floor and saying, can we go play in the park?
And
Which
you've
is the
got one right
playground that's
behind
in
it.
the background.
I
And
ride
it's,
by it every day.
it's beautiful. We're very proud to have that service.
It's a great location.
Thank you.
It's a great
We
location.
appreciate all the support.
My mother lived in Bayleaf for almost 10 years.
Mhm.
So I've seen that building continue to change that you're in.
And if the numbers keep going, I mean, the need is there, you know, and you're turning away 300 women in a 4-year period because you don't have this capacity for them. There's certainly a need in this community, and this is the community we're trying to support.
Anyone else? Thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
everything you do.
Thank you.
Next is the Pantiga Academy. All right. 1, 2, 3. Next is the Safe Harbor Helpline. This would be a new one, I think. Is it not, Brian? Is that a brand new one? Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Sally Love, Executive Director of Safe Harbor Helpline. And of course, our mission, as you may know, is to connect individuals experiencing homelessness with local agencies and organizations that offer professional support, guiding them towards safety and stability. Homelessness comes from job loss, illness, excuse me, car trouble, or domestic issues. It disrupts lives, as you know, and everything, routines and education and health and everything. So when people experience the trauma of homelessness, a lot of times they don't know where to go or who to call. And they end up in unsafe places, and very frequently they're cars, and they need some kind of support. So where do they go? So we have two services that we offer. One is a 24/7 helpline. That means that somebody answers the phone 24 hours a day. She's our case manager, and she conducts what we call a prevention diversion screening. That kind of narrows down why they're homeless and what kind of help that they need to go, and where do they go from there. And from that information, she does one of a couple of different things. She may just give them a phone number. They have to call DSS, they have to call Trillium, they have to call Greenland, something like that. Or the second choice would be that they cannot do that themselves or don't know how to do that. And so she helps them, or she calls around to different agencies and then she calls them back and follows up. So if it's a situation that's an emergency, we put them in a motel, and that's the second program that we have. We limit that to a very short stay because we just want them to be safe. We had a family recently that was running from domestic violence, and she was just going from Pennsylvania to Texas. And she just needed a place. She had 3 children with her. They just needed a place to have a shower, relax, be safe for a couple of nights, and then go on. And so we do offer that as an emergency. So we've been in business since 2021, 134 families we've helped in that time. 1,550 nights. That was 110 women, 57 men, and 137 children. It really gave them a respite. Last year we had extended stays because, we had really bad cold weather. We had a very difficult housing situation, and we had 619 nights last year because of the cold weather and extended stays. But the community stepped up and helped us with the funding for that, and so we got through it. In 2025, we applied for our own 501c3, so we are now an independent nonprofit. Prior to that time, we were a program of the United Way and Agape. So we have a board of directors. We've done everything, updated our policies. We're usually funded by grants and some mailings that we do. And I appreciate the opportunity to talk with you.
You've been involved in several other issues like this in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're saying this actually just started in 2025?
No, we were
part of something else.
In 2021. I was working as the director for the United Way.
Well, okay.
And I started getting phone calls.
Yeah.
About where can I sleep tonight? I don't have any place to go. So in 2021, mid-2021, we started working on this while I was still working with the United Way.
How do people find out about you?
We have business cards on desks. We have called all of the organizations and agencies, and we've tried putting posters in laundromats and things like that. We're trying to get on lists, which has been challenging, but we're working on it. She gets more than 200 calls a month. So the word is out there, not enough, but it's out there.
Ally, you're like my minister, former minister. He's 94 years old now.
Yeah.
And I visited with him the other day in a nursing home. And he took me to lunch one day, and I don't know how old he was at the time.
Uh-huh.
And he told me, Frank, he said, in the Bible, the word retirement is not there.
Yeah.
So I know that you continue to abide by that. It's not in the Bible, is it, Jerry?
Yeah, right.
Well, thank you. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, the next one is Zion Shelter and Kitchen.
That's me. Good afternoon, young sirs. I said young sirs. That's right, y'all young sirs.
You
Well,
talking about Ed?
Well, yeah, he is very young. I've come here tonight to represent Design, Shelter, and Kitchen. I thank you for your helping me early on during the year. As Mr. Stan wanted, and it's in our line item that every dime that you give us, it is spent only on food. My salary is split by 2 nonprofits, and then we have another part-time worker that helps me in running Design Kitchen. That would be Mr. Keefe. He used to be the executive director, so now he's the one that's running the Design Community Kitchen. We are working towards still getting a new men's shelter that will house 20 men in that facility. So we hope that that's going to be coming down the line. And so that's why you would see some extra money in our line item. It's because that money, it will go towards paying for the building that we'll be getting. I'd like to give you an update on some fun stuff here and some great stuff. Since the last time I was before you in this last month, we had a man to get off drugs. I met him down at the kitchen, so we were able to get him in facilities, and he's come off drugs, and he's doing very well. We've had 2 men in the last 2 weeks that we got them permanent jobs for, so they were coming there to eat lunch and those types of things. So we are trying to take and find housing, jobs, and things for them that come in, because a lot of them are young men. And as my policy is, I don't care who you are, what color you are, will not shout your heart. I can take 5 of them to pay my Social Security when it's time. So I don't really care who they are as long as they're working. So we are really trying to find each one of them jobs and things. And now we have a partnership where we feed 26,000 plates per year. That total has gone up because, of course, where we are in society right now. We all have a lot of people that have food insecurity. So we have seen a lot as our numbers have increased over the last few months. We are now partnered with the Washington Housing Authority. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, their unit managers will come to the site, and we send 61 lunches out to those communities on Monday and Tuesday, because those are on the days that they was able to do it. So, Tuesday and Thursday we serve an extra 61 plates. So on those days we normally do 166 plates goes out on Tuesdays and Thursday. So we have increased that number. We are trying to work with the housing authorities again. I think a long time ago we used to work with the housing authority, and they used to have about 10 houses that they would let us use for individuals that are homeless, especially people with families, because we have a hard time. We don't have any place that will have the whole family together. So we are working on that in partnership with them, and pray that we may get 1 or 2 of those units that we may be able to use to put families in for at least 30 days while we take and surround them with all the support that they need to get them back where they need to be. So I have asked for an increase in our budget because one of our biggest costs, of course, is food. We do get food from the food bank. Sometimes the Eagles Wings, if they have extra food, they'll give that to us, and so we can prepare it. We just won a grant from Blue Cross and Blue Shield, so we will actually be able to process extra food. Like if we get a whole bunch of potatoes, we can make them into French fries. We can do all those things so that all those things would be able to go back into the community because we do have the big kitchen. So we are trying a little bit of everything to cut down on costs. I still can get most of the plates out between $2.50, $2.60, plated and out the door. So we're being very fruitful with taxpayers' money to make sure that we do what you guys have asked us to do with those funds. And I see us just growing more and more each and every day. We did feed during the Easter holiday or spring break. We ran a trial run and feeding in the afternoon, and our meals was more kid friendly in the afternoon. The first day I only had one. The second day I had 18, but the last 3 days I had over 50, and those were different people that would come in during that came in for lunch. So we do need the money for that. Now they can get lunch 6 days a week because on first and third Saturday we have two groups that come to the kitchen and they cook the food up and serve it to the people. And on the second Saturday they go to First Methodist Church, and on the fourth Saturday they go to BB Memorial Church up there behind the fire station. So we have made doing a lot of partnership and getting everybody to be able to be fed and get their meals. Question? Okay.
I just got one.
Sure.
When we did the amendment and gave them $12,000, would that automatically roll into our, okay.
Yes, sir, they're asking for an additional.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So, Mr. Chairman, I've got two that didn't make it into the back of the book. It's in your budget. So we got the Second Judicial District Recovery Court and Pamlico Pals.
Okay, we'll take Pamlico Pals first.
I don't think either one of those are here. And I see Mr. Holtzman, who's with Boys and Girls Club. We actually funded y'all at your request, but if you want to speak, you can certainly.
Just want to say thank you for continued support of our clubs. The Washington Club is still doing well. This past year, we served 109 children, and this academic year, we're projected to serve 125 children. I think a highlight for you, a couple I was thinking of, one is we added a bus, and so we're doing bus service across the bridge to Chakawindy. Of those 125, 17 of those children are on that bus coming over to the club in the afternoon. And so I think that number is going to grow quite a bit. We added that a little early in the school year, and I think next year as that catches on even more, it'll grow. We're still doing after-school programming and an 8-week full summer program. They're 10.5-hour days. So we have a summer learning loss program. So anybody that's still looking for a place to have your child come and learn programming all summer long, we take field trips every week. It is an absolute blast for the kids. We get them out and so they can see things that what they can be. They'll take trips to colleges. They'll take trips to the water park and do things like that, and get them some nice fresh air, but covert learning about all of it. Your academic, your funding does go directly to the academic support. So character and citizenship, academic success, healthy lifestyles, healthy choices, and new this past year has been life and workforce readiness. So we're sitting down with the kids and we're helping them plan for the future. Our goal is that every child graduates on time and has a plan for the future. And we're partnering with Beaufort Community College on that as well. Really piloting over here, out of all of our counties, we're piloting a career academy program for our kids. We have a club academy program for kids that are in elementary ages that are 1 to 2 academic levels behind. If a child comes in our club and can't read, our club tutors will actually go to the school, talk to the school teachers through a partnership that we have, And then they'll do tutoring there at school and also come to the club and hold Club Academy. And we catch those children up in usually one academic year. If they're 1 or 2 levels behind, we can catch them up, and then they stay in that program up through the 5th grade. And then Career Academy is just designed really to expose children to what is out here in the community, expose them to the industries that are here in Beaufort County. What is here? How do they get a job there? What are the different pathways to enter the workforce that they can do direct entry through the community college, through a university? Not every child needs to go to a 4-year school, but they all need to get a job. They all need to work. Our average, we have 2/3 of our families are from, like mine, my mom's, which was a single-parent home. And 2/3 of those equally report having less than a $25,000 a year annual income. So we really are living out our mission. Our mission is to serve those, all children, especially those that need us most. And so we just want to say thank you. Thank you for the support. As you pass by the club, just about 2 years ago, we did paint the club, thanks to support from the commissioners. And due to our capital campaign, we're also going to be investing quite a bit of dollars in the club over this year and next year. So you'll see even more improvements. At some point, we'll get everybody back over and we'll do a rededication to the club and get it back up again. Well, it's up and running, but we'll rededicate it with some new furniture and technology. And we are striping all of our courts to have pickleballs in them too, so. All right, that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
So just real quick, Mr. Chairman, the 2 that we didn't have in the back, Pamlico Pals, which is on the Youth Services page 169, they were originally funded at $2,000. They were asking for $2,500, so additional $500. And then on page 181, outside agencies, the Second Judicial District Recovery Court, they were funded last year at $15,000. They're asking for $25,000, so an additional $10,000. Those are your only other 2.
Okay. Do we have anything else tonight, or we?
We do not, unless you have any questions, unless the board has any questions about anything you had prior up until now. We're ready for your Tuesday.
All right, on Tuesday night, May the 26th, we'll come in here and we'll basically let each commissioner come up with cutting something, increasing something, and we'll do what we've been doing in the past. It'll be done by a straw vote, nothing binding, where if we get 4 votes or with the majority that's here, that means it'll go on the line or go in like an Excel spreadsheet, and we can still go back and change it if somebody wants to go back and change it. But it's the only way I know to do to keep refining the budget. And it's not just what we've heard tonight, but it's anything that anybody has seen in the budget that they think that we could do without, or if they feel like we need to do something different. And we'll try to hammer that out on Tuesday night of next week.
So, Mr. Chairman, our hope is that you'll be able to do that on Tuesday so that we can put the final budget together for you. You do have a public hearing scheduled at the June 1st meeting. You can take action after that public hearing. If you've got the budget where you want it, you certainly have the ability to take action after that. We also have you have already put on the calendar a tentative meeting the next week to adopt the budget if you don't do it after the public hearing on June the 1st.
Any questions of staff? Okay, well, we'll recess until Tuesday at 5 o'clock. Thank you.